Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, is the holiest day in Judaism. It has always been a special day in Israel, but 45 years ago, it was also the day that changed the Jewish state forever. A surprise attack at the hands of the Egyptian and Syrian armies who crossed the border and advanced into Israeli territory, saw Israel completely unprepared, with no one there to stop them. The Israeli Defense Forces were convinced that none of their Arab neighbors would dare attack after Israel's comprehensive victory in the Six-Day War 6 years earlier. But just before 2 o'clock on Yom Kippur of 1973, this perception was proven completely wrong, and the price was horrific. For the first time in its 25 years of existence, Israel found itself on the losing side. The first days of the war saw heavy fighting on the Golan Heights and the Sinai Peninsula, both held by Israel. It took an enormous effort from the Israeli army to turn the fate of this war around. 18 days after the start of the Yom Kippur War, IDF forces found themselves just 60 miles away from Cairo and with Damascus in range of Israeli cannons, but Israel was not the same country anymore. More than 2,500 Israeli soldiers were killed, thousands more wounded, hundreds were taken hostage. The absolute confidence Israelis had in their leaders and their army has been shattered. 4 years after that war, the unimaginable happened. President Anwar Sadat of Egypt came to Israel, beginning a process which would lead to a peace treaty between the two countries. Despite many obstacles, this treaty is still holding 4 decades later. Would this visit have happened if it wasn't for the Yom Kippur War? We will never know. But many analysts believe that the events of October 1973 were the lesson Israel needed in order to understand the limitations of power. 45 years after that war, the national trauma remains.
This week we will mark, in synagogues and cemeteries, Yom Kippur, the holiest day of our people, and the day on which, 45 years ago, we absorbed a bloody attack that cost us thousands of victims.
And just like every year since 1973, IDF forces are on high alert ahead of Yom Kippur, making sure that the surprise of 1973 does not repeat itself. Jonathan Regev, I-24 News.